Welcome to the Dan Casper Show podcast, your chance to catch the full show anytime, anywhere. If you missed it live on the radio, no worries. We've got you covered with all the sports talk, opinions, interviews, and conversations from the show. From the Packers to the Brewers to the biggest stories in sports and around Wisconsin, it's all right here. This is the Dan Casper Show podcast. What's up, everybody? Good morning and a very happy Thursday to you all. DK Show coming to you from the TDS Sports Talk studios this morning. Thanks for waking up and making us a part of your start. Whether you are listening on the radio dials, 105.1 FM, 790 AM, streaming us up online at sportstalk1051.com. Got your smart devices like your Alexa devices. Got the app downloaded, take it on the go. YouTube, don't forget to hit that, ring that bell, follow the YouTube page so you can watch on the video stream. Multiple different ways for you to be tuning in. You got the Shoe Doctor's bullpen line also there at 715-830-1912. And then, of course, the Section 105 chat room that is up and rolling right now on our video stream. But again, a very happy Thursday to you all. What do we have on our game plan for us this morning? Brew Crew picking up another win last night against Paul Skeens. Brewers winning 4-2, handing Paul Skeens his 10th loss of the season, dropping him down to 9-10. Kyle Harrison making his first starts. It's coming off the injury list, and boy, did he look like the Kyle Harrison that we remembered from earlier on in the season. Going 5 innings, giving up just 1 hit, no earned runs, 1 walk, striking out 10. Dominating performance from Kyle Harrison. Pick it up, improving to 9-2 on the season. Now, if you were listening, watching the game, he did go out there for the 6th to warm up, but then was pulled. Doesn't sound like it's anything serious. Was just dealing with some cramps in his calf. So both calves, it sounded like. But so it doesn't sound anything serious. But, oh, man, Kyle Harrison, I love watching that guy pitch. You know, just watch the guy pitch if you haven't watched him pitch. He moves so quick. It's like, man, no messing around. No, weird routines. As soon as that batter's in, boom. It's like he's winding up and let's go. I love it. I love watching that guy pitch. Chad Patrick came in, did his job striking out a couple, and then, man, maybe we've got our new 789. Sensatella with another hold. Uribe coming in. Trevor McGill locking it down, ending it with a strikeout, 100 mile an hour down the middle. So Brewers picking up their 71st win on the season. They will go for the series win later today with Dustin May. I don't know if he likes being called Dusty. I'm going to call him Dusty. Dusty May making his Brewers debut. So we'll recap last night's W and look ahead to this afternoon's Game 4 series finale with the Brewers getting a shot to take 3 out of 4 before they welcome our friends from across the border, the Minnesota Twins, to begin a 3-game series starting tomorrow. But, hey, elsewhere, too, Cubbies, good week, good series for them. They took down the Dodgers again, so they're nipping at the heels a little bit. Not making things any easier right now for the crew. Brewers still 5.5 up on the Chicago Cubs, but with that too, Brewers maybe kind of increasing their lead just a bit for that top spot in the National League. Dodgers are riding a 6-game losing streak, whereas the Braves, they're riding a 7-game winning streak. So, yeah, they're moving on up to it and creating a little bit more distance between them and the Phillies. With the standings. But plenty of baseball talk coming your way here this morning. And speaking of Brewers, Hunter Baumgart, Brewers reporter, will be joining us again just past 9 o'clock this morning. So we'll catch up with Hunter here in a couple of hours. Also, speaking of guests, don't forget, it is Thursday, which means we have Jake Boaks. Sorry, I got sidetracked there. Jake Boaks joining us for our Tailgate Outdoors edition. So if you've got any questions for our resident DNR Warden buddy, make sure you text those on over to that Shoe Doctors bullpen line at 715-830-1912. Packers training camp. No practice yesterday, but we heard from the coordinators. And so we'll go through some of the highlights there, including special teams coordinator Cam Acord making some friends with the media yesterday, demonstrating how Trey Smack likes the ball being used a pen. Actually got down on the floor and showed all the reporters. I'm sure a lot of you have already seen the video in that there. But I want to go back to something when we talked to Rob Domofsky yesterday from ESPN.com. This with Trey Smack, Matt, he made the comment that there was, at practice when they have an official there, okay, and Trey Smack, made the kick, and this was earlier on, signaled good, and then he missed it, and then LaFleur ran down to the official, and you never saw the official signal again, whether he made it or not. And are they that worried about putting that pressure on? Or I don't know, doesn't it seem weird? It seems really, really, really weird. Okay, are we overprotecting this now? Are we making this a bigger deal than what it needs to be? I don't know. It just seems weird, doesn't it? So I kind of want to hit that up. So, but anyways, we'll talk some football and that. So, what else do we got on the docket? It is Thursday, so a 3 up and a 3 down. Let's hear yours. What are 3 things that you think are rising in the sports world? Stocks are going up, or 3 things that are going down? Stocks are going down. All right, make your picks. Hit me up. Join in on the convo with that, and whatever the heck else you want to talk about this morning, sports-wise. All right. If we like it, we like that topic, we'll chat about it. Send them on over. But let's get things going here this morning. We'll get the leadoff underway. We'll talk a little Brewers baseball to begin this morning, recapping last night's W, looking ahead to tonight's game, or this afternoon's game, looking for the series win. And, the other day we were talking about the Brewers starting pitching, and maybe we're still not giving them enough credit. And there's still maybe some numbers out there that kind of prove that. There's really good numbers when we know there's good numbers, but maybe there's another number out there stat-wise that just kind of tells us that the Brewers may be the top 3 with Mizorowski, Henderson, Kyle Harrison, 3 of the best starters in the entire National League. And do they have the top 3 numbers-wise? We'll kind of take a look at that. So, but, yeah, let's take our first break, and then we'll get the leadoff going here this morning. Talking some Brewers, talking some baseball. Another W last night. Kyle Harrison looked fantastic. We got the debut of Dusty May this afternoon. We'll be right back with the leadoff after these quick words. The countdown to fall sports is on. From Friday night football to volleyball, soccer, and cross country, athletes across the Chippewa Valley are getting ready to compete. But when injuries happen, getting that right care matters. Chippewa Valley Orthopedics and Sports Medicine specializes in helping getting athletes back into the game with expert orthopedic care, sports medicine, and treatment that you can trust. Whether you are a weekend warrior or a high school athlete chasing your goals, their team is here to help keep you moving. Chippewa Valley Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, your partner in staying active, healthy, and ready for the season ahead. All right, let's talk a little Brew Crew. Last night's the Brewers take it down. Paul Skeens and the Pittsburgh Pirates, a 4-2 victory. A little bit of a pitching back and forth there up until the bottom of the third. And how about that? Christian Yelich with a couple of hits last night, including getting the game's first RBI. So Christian Yelich coming in the clutch last night, did strike out twice too, but nonetheless led the team in hits with his 2 hits last night. Just 4 total hits for the Brewers, but they were able to capitalize on some of those hits. So he had Contreras with the solo shot or with the home run too. So But nonetheless, just enough. And then the pitching doing their part to hold off the Pittsburgh Pirates and pick up their 71st win on the season and now put themselves in a position to win the series with a W today. Kyle Harrison making his first start since coming off of the injured list, and man, did he look like Kyle Harrison from early on in the season. 5 innings, 1 hit, 1 walk, no earned runs, 10 strikeouts. 10. Harrison threw 69 pitches overall. 50 of them were strikes. He did try to go out for the 6th, was pulled. Luckily, nothing serious, just dealing with some cramps in his calf muscles. So, but Yelly, that was awesome last night to see him collect a couple hits, including an RBI. He had Vaughn with a couple of RBIs, too, with his hit. But the story here is Kyle Harrison, I think, kind of pick it up where he kind of looked in May. I mean, the guy was awesome. And like I was saying a little bit earlier, I love watching this guy pitch. He works so fast and so smooth. Like his windup in that, I mean, it's not slow, it's quick. He's a fun pitcher to go out there and watch. And I don't know if that's part of, how quickly he moves, if that's kind of a little bit of an effect that he has on some of the hitters and that. But, man, he doesn't mess around. He goes right after it. Goes out there and attacks. So he was awesome last night. And is now 9-2 with a 2.84 ERA. You look at these 3 starters for the Brewers, and I'm looking at Mizorowski, Harrison, and Logan Henderson. NL starters with the highest K rate this season, a minimum of 50 innings. The highest K rate. Number 1, Jacob Mizorowski, 40.6%. Probably doesn't surprise a lot of people. Number 2, Logan Henderson, 32.3%. Number 3, almost tied, but number 3, Zach Wheeler, 31.3%. And then Kyle Harrison is right behind him, 4th at 31.1%. The Brewers' top 3 starting pitchers have 3 of the 4 are within the top 4 in K rate this season. And if you don't know what K rate is, it's the percentage of where a batter plate appearances or total batters faced that end in a strikeout. So think about that. Total batters faced, or the percentage of plate appearances that ends in a strikeout. Miz, Henderson, Harrison, 3 of the top 4 in the National League. When you look at, we just went through Kyle Harrison's numbers, but he's got a sub-3 ERA. He's 2.84 and 9-2 on the season. Logan Henderson, 6-1 with a 2.70 ERA this season. Jacob Mizorowski, 11-5 at a 1.63 ERA this season. They may not have the names like the Dodgers do within their starting rotation. And the Dodgers, yes, they have great starters. But these 3 right now, when you look at it, numbers-wise, they need, from a performance standpoint, maybe, name me a better trio that's been going out there so far. If we just kind of look at it from an ERA standpoint, let's maybe kind of just narrow it down to a National League. Gosh darn, it's hard not to pick those 3 because Mizorowski is a leader in ERA at a 1.63. But then you got two other guys who are sub 3. Man. And then when you get to the postseason and you're going to be throwing these 3, please, baseball gods, knock on wood, whatever we got to do, make sure these 3 are fresh and ready to go and they're healthy when it gets to the postseason. Please, please, all euchre up there, baseball gods, because if those 3 are healthy and those 3 are as fresh as they could possibly be, and you get into a 5-game series, 7-game series, 5-game series, you're probably feeling pretty good about your chances to win that thing. 7-game series, okay, there's 3 wins there, hopefully, and maybe figure out the 4th somewhere else. Maybe that's going to be Dusty May, who we're going to see tonight. I am optimistic on these starting pitchers for the Brewers for the rest of this regular season and getting into the postseason. I get it. I understand that, they're young, they're inexperienced, but maybe that's going to play in their favor a little bit too. They're young. They don't know any better. They don't know what it's about. They haven't really a ton of experience. They're not a veteran that's been there a few times and hasn't had any success, so they keep pressing. That's the glass half full approach. If you look at it from a glass half empty approach, you're like, yeah, no experience. They're going to be way too nervous compared to a vet. I mean, I don't know. We'll see when we get to that point. But from a performance standpoint, from a number standpoint right now, Miz, Harrison, Logan Henderson, come on, you guys. These are 3 studs. These are 3 horses. And they're so dang fun to watch. And when they're up there on the mound, I don't care if it's Miz or Harrison or Henderson, right now, if they are the starting pitcher for the Brewers, I feel really good about the Brewers' chances coming away with a W. They are, from what we have seen more times than not this year, those 3 have put their teams in a position to win ball games. With their performance, with their outings, more times than not. Yes, there's been some hiccup outings, of course. Every pitcher is going to have that. But more times than not, those 3 pitchers have done their part. And they have put the Brewers in a position to win the ball games that they're starting. That's all you ask for starters, to go out there and shut down the opposing offense. They have consistently done that. So, as we inch a little bit closer and closer to the regular season, I mean, is it the biggest question going to be the offense? I mean, the offense, okay, yeah, numbers-wise, they're still up there, but we know the home runs. But they're scoring runs. Which one do you have the most, maybe biggest question about as we are into August and starting to wrap up this regular season? We're in this chase for the top seed and in the division. Don't overlook the Cubbies. They're playing some really good baseball. It's the biggest question mark. Or where do you have the most amount of confidence? Is it the young pitchers? Is it the offense? They're leading in a lot of offensive categories, except for the big one, home runs. Is that going to come back to bite them in the postseason? But you also got a pitching staff when we excuse me, when we look at this too for stat wise. Let me bring it up here. A team. How many home runs has the Brewers given up? The Brewers have given up 26th most home runs. The teams that have given up the fewer home runs than the Brewers: Yankees, Giants, Red Sox, Tigers. It's going to be fun to watch. All right, we got to take a quick break. Plenty more baseball talk coming your way. Let's talk a little Dustin May. Dustin May making his Brewers debut tonight. Let's preview that coming up after these quick words. If you're from Wisconsin, you know there is something special about this time of year. The days are getting a little shorter. The evenings are cooling off. And you know what? Before you know it, hunting season will be here. Maybe you stepped outside already early this morning. A little bit of a kind of a taste of fall chill there. That means now is the time to get your gear ready. Whether you need a new firearm, ammunition, or optics, or just some advice, make Tilden Gun your first stop. The folks at Tilden Gun aren't just there to sell you equipment. They're hunters, too. They know what works. They're happy to answer your questions, and they'll make sure that you are ready long before opening morning arrives. So don't wait until the last minute. Stop by Tilden Gun, get geared up, and start counting down the days to another great Wisconsin fall. Tilden Gun, helping Wisconsin hunters make the most of every season. Best of luck, and be safe in the great outdoors. Brewers will wrap up this series with the Pirates this afternoon. 1:10 first pitch. You can check out the game on your radio dials, 105.1 FM and 790 AM. And we got Dustin May on the mound here for the Brewers, making his Brewers debut. And I'm definitely, intrigued about how this is good, because Dustin May's got some good stuff. And I think, from all the scouting reports and the analysts and the experts out there, just been a little inconsistent for the most part this season. We did see how well, when he is on, how well he can be when he pitched that no-no going against the Brewers in May. But you kind of look at his numbers, and in the month of July, in 6 games, he was 0-1 with a 4.62 ERA. But really, there was a couple games in there, too, that really throw off his ERA. That start on the second against Atlanta was not good. He didn't even get through the first and gave up 5 earned runs on 5 hits and a couple walks. Another game where he gave up 5 earned runs in 5 innings against the Diamondbacks. But other than that, he's coming off of a performance against the Cubbies back on the 29th. He went 5 innings, giving up just 1 hit, no earned runs. Before that, against Cincinnati, 6 innings, 1 earned run. He's had good numbers against Milwaukee this year, so at least Milwaukee doesn't have to face him here. But, this is a veteran that you're adding to the staff, a guy who's pitched for a while now. And when you look at it, he's been in the league since 2019. He's spent a big portion of his career with the Dodgers, was traded to Boston in 2025 last year with the Cardinals to begin this year. So I'm excited to see what he can bring to this ball club, because I think that fourth, if we kind of look at it from a playoff perspective, that 4th starting spot in the rotation is up for grabs. The top 3 are solidified, signed, sealed, and delivered. It's Miz, it's Harrison, it's Logan Henderson. Those 3. Now, I think it's between 3 guys. And I think the Brewers want Dustin May to take that 4th spot. Right now, it seems like the Brewers are going to go with the 6-man rotation here for a little bit, because they already announced some of their future starters. Jerome's getting a start. Gosler's getting a start. And I'm glad they're doing that, trying to keep these starters as fresh as they possibly can and not overdo it when we get to the postseason. So I like that game plan. But I do think that 4th, if they go with a typical 4-man rotation when they get to the postseason, it's up there. It's there for the taking between Dustin May, even Shane Drone, and maybe Robert Gasser too. I hope it is Dustin May. I hope it's Dustin May. You made the move to acquire him. He's a veteran. At least then you'd have a veteran to throw into that starting mix. So, and I think we're all just kind of curious as Brewers fans too, right? Whenever this team adds a pitcher, I think we're all kind of curious, like, okay, what can the Brewers do with him? What could Chris Hook, when Chris Hook and Jim Henderson and this coaching staff, the pitching coaching staff, when they get their hands on these pitchers. I think we're all kind of curious as Brewers fans. Okay, what is this going to be another like pitcher that they mold into this? Wow, all of a sudden he's a really great pitcher. I mean, just look at the track record here of guys that they have brought in. And I don't want to say have made something out of nothing, because that's not necessarily the case, but have really kind of surprised, I think, people out there how well some of these pitchers turned out. Last year, Quinn Priester. This year, Kyle Harrison. Shane Drowan even. Brandon Sproat's been up and down. So, I mean, it hasn't been 100%. But I'm definitely excited to see what these guys can do. So when you're looking at Dustin May, he's hard throwing, heavy sinker, got that sinker, two-seamer, four-seam fastball, cutter changeup. He's got some raw stuff. Now, the thing is with him, he has had a couple of elbow injuries in the past, so hopefully that's kind of behind him in that. But he definitely generates some high ground ball rates, which, I mean, again, think Quinn Priester. Think last year, Jose Quintana. Brewers have an elite defense. Kind of utilize that. You kind of go with that. On the flip side, it'll be a tough day for the Brewers offense, because they've got Braxton Ashcraft going for the Pirates, and right now 11-4 on the season, 3.96 ERA, and he just kind of looking at he did pitch against Milwaukee back on the July 11th, and in that game he went 5 innings, gave up 5 hits, 5 earned runs, and a couple of those were home runs. So Brewers offense was able to go after him in that game. So we got a little bit of familiarity between these two pitchers and these two lineups. For the Brewers lineup going up against Braxton, it's about a game's worth. And it's probably just from that one game. So really not a whole lot. I mean, Bowers had a home run against him in that game. On the flip side, it's kind of the same here, too, with May going up against actually May. There's some Pirates hitters here that have a little bit more experience going up against May. Like Brian Reynolds has 7 career at-bats, but just 143. Horwitz, 7 career at-bats, 429. Magnum is 5 career at-bats, 600. So a little bit of success against them. But again, 1:10 first pitch. Coverage begins 35 minutes prior on your radio dials. 105.1 FM, 790 AM. We'll see if the Brewers can take 3 out of 4 against the Pittsburgh Pirates this afternoon. And again, the Cubs, got to tip your cap. As much as it pains me to say this as a Brewers fan, Cubs, they're just not going away. They're not going away right now. Another big win for them, taking down the Dodgers yesterday. So it was a good series for the Cubbies going up against the Dodgers. Brewers still remaining 5.5 games ahead of the Cubs. That's a team right now I don't want to face in the postseason. If I'm being honest with you, I don't want to do that. Brewers holding on to a 2-game lead. If you're looking at it from the National League side of things, a 2-game lead over the Braves for the top spots in the playoffs. If the playoffs were to start today, Brewers would be the top spot. Braves would be the 2 seed. So, all right, we got to take a quick break. We'll start to wrap up the first hour. Coming up next hour, we'll switch gears and chat a little green and gold. We'll tell you some of the comments from the coordinators yesterday. We heard from every coordinator. Jonathan Gannon. Could Jonathan Gannon be working on game planning, two different styles of defense for this season? We'll explain that coming up in the next hour, too. So, but quick break, and we'll be back to wrap up the first hour after these few words. It happens every year, doesn't it? 1 minute, you're outside, you're mowing the lawn, you're grilling, maybe heading to the lake, doing some fishing, watching some Little League games, and next thing you know, you're shopping for school supplies and wondering, where the heck did summer go? Well, before the backpacks come out and the busy fall schedule starts to take over, now is the perfect time to freshen up your home with some new flooring from Carpet City Flooring Center in Eau Claire. Whether it's soft new carpet for the family room, maybe some durable luxury vinyl planks for the muddy boots, and how about some Rigid Max flooring to give your home a whole new look? Whatever the case may be, the team at Carpet City Flooring Center will help you find the perfect floor for your family and your budget. They are locally owned, they know Wisconsin homes, and they are committed to making the process easy from start to finish. Make the most of these last weeks of summer. Stop on in to Carpet City Flooring Center in Eau Claire today, because home is where Wisconsin families make their best memories. All right. Let's got about 10 minutes left to the top of the hour here. We've got a couple of Brewers texts to get to here. Derek says Kyle Harrison was awesome last night. I agree. I am really excited to see these top three pitchers continue for the rest of the regular season, but getting into the postseason. I think this is a group that is really special that still kind of gets overlooked outside of Jacob Mizorowski. We've got Jack that says Harrison was dominant last night. If we can get into the postseason with Miz, Henderson, and Harrison playing like they're playing right now, we can beat anybody. And then another message, don't have a name, can't give you any credit. Why is Joey Ortiz still not playing? And I know Adam McCulvey addressed it on social media. Adam McCulvey covers the Brewers, and he pretty much said, you're not going to like the answer, but it's the answer, and it's really it's matchups. As he said, quote, they play Hamilton against right-handers with a certain pitch mix and Ortiz against some righties and all lefties. It's fair to disagree with that strategy because Ortiz has been so hot, but that is the reason. As long, you know what, Ortiz can continue to push the narrative, put the pressure on, Pat Murphy and the Brewers. If he goes out there and continues to rake and he continues to play and continues to produce, you're gonna have to keep him in that lineup. But hard, it's a hard pill to swallow right now when you see a guy who has been hitting really well and not consistently in the lineup. But maybe this is also why he's been hitting very well. Maybe take a look at it from the other side of things. Maybe this is why he is producing well, because they have figured out, all right, this is how we're going to play him. We're going to play him against certain righties and who do these certain type of pitches and all lefties. Maybe that's the other side of things. I don't know. I'm just throwing out some scenarios. Christian Yelich, day after Pat Murphy asked fans to give him some encouragement when he went up to bat with runners on. He got a nice little ovation, got the support from fans, and he gave them the RBI. What did he have to say after the game last night with the fan support?
Christian, do you hear as you're coming to the plate tonight that it was a little louder?
Yeah, no, it was cool to, receive the support from the fans tonight. And, obviously it hasn't been the greatest last couple months for me, but definitely appreciate that tonight.
Christian, the approach that you guys had against Skeens tonight, just looked like you were patient and, kind of making him work a little bit. Is that accurate to say?
Yeah, you just try to get a good pitch to hit against him. You don't necessarily go into the game being like, make them work or get the pitch count up. Just trying to have good at-bats and pass it to the next guy and, try to build innings. But we did a good job of just kind of taking what he gave us, working some walks, and then Vonnie got a big hit there, and we were just kind of able to get him out of there in the fifth.
On your double, it looked like he was working you in for a lot of that at bat. Were you looking for something down and in on 3-1 there, or just kind of trying to see what you got?
No, just looking for a good pitch to hit. There's no fastball counts in baseball anymore. You know what I mean? So I wasn't necessarily looking for like a specific pitch, but he threw me 2-0, same pitch. So you kind of have a feeling that maybe they go back to that, maybe they don't. But it's really just trying to get the job done, get the guy in from third with less than 2 outs, and that was really my focus.
There was a lot made of sort of a batting order change yesterday. Can you describe that conversation? And to you, is it a big change?
That's what Murph thinks is best for the team and help us win. And I've always been willing to do whatever they think's best for us to try to win. That's the ultimate goal here. And no matter where I've been in the lineup in the past, I've kind of hit all over. Never seventh, but regardless of whenever you're in there, you just try to do something to help the team win. Different situations find you throughout the game, no matter where you're hitting. So when you come up in a spot to try to contribute, do your best to get the job done and keep it moving. It is what it is. You're not performing, and that kind of stuff happens. So didn't really look too much into it, and just getting ready to play the game. And JB had a little hip thing there and ended up at fifth. So just really wherever you're at, try to find a way to help the team, and that's all I can do.
What do you think of Harrison?
It was great to have him back. We definitely missed him, and he's been great for us all year. And it's a good thing it was just cramps today when he came out, and 10 punch and 5 innings. Always pretty good. We'll definitely take it, and it's really nice to have him back.
All right, somebody had the Back to the Future music in the background there, but that was Christian Yelich a little bit after the game yesterday. Christian Yelich, again, anybody who has listened to him over the years, a man of few words, doesn't really get too high or get too low, it feels like with Christian Yelich. But, all right. Shot clock's going to cut us off here in a couple minutes. Don't forget to send us your 3-ups and your 3-downs. We've got Bo on our video stream saying his 3-ups are Brewers, the Express, bow hunting, 3 downs, gas prices, Yelich, and work. You can send more of your 3-ups and 3 downs either on that Section 105 chat room, or you can hit us up on the Shoe Doctors bullpen line, 715-830-1912. Don't forget, tonight might be a good night to be at the ballpark. It's our final Tailgate Thursday. Night at the Express game. So if you want to get your tickets, and let's cheer on the Express to a good finish to the regular season. They got Duluth tonight, Waterloo Friday, Waterloo Saturday. The next 3 are all at Carson Park. They picked up a win last night, so hopefully they can continue to ride this momentum into the postseason. Let's do our part as fans, and let's pack up Carson Park and cheer them on to victory. But tonight will be the last night for the Tailgate Thursday event. It's a busy couple days here. We got that, and then, of course, tomorrow, Casper Classic. The 6th annual Casper Classic will tee off at Lake Hallie Golf Course. So, again, just as a reminder, we won't have a show tomorrow because of the golf outing, but we'll be over there, and should be a fun time. Hopefully, I know they were talking about possibly maybe a little bit of rain in the afternoon, but hopefully that rain will wait till we're done after the 1 o'clock group. So, rain, please hold off for just a little bit. So, all right, next hour, we're going to talk some green and gold. We heard from the coordinators yesterday. That's Adam Stetovich. That's Jonathan Gannon. That's Cam Achor. What did they have to say? Some of the comments, some of the quotes. And I want to talk a little Trey Smack, and I want to talk a little bit about, speaking of Jonathan Gannon, is it possible that Gannon might be planning 2 different types of defenses this year for the Packers? Is it possible? I'll explain that coming up in the next hour or two. So, hey, whatever else is on your mind, sports-wise, send it on over. We're an open book. If it's a good topic, if it's a good question, we'll throw it out there for the rest of the listeners to chime in. Don't be shy. Don't be nervous. Okay, send those on over. All right, shot clock's going to cut us off, so we've got some news updates, and we'll be back to kick off the second hour talking a little football after these quick words.